Hi guys, welcome back to the best channel in the world.
Boy, what an intro.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Office Bloke Aidan.
Now, before we start, don't forget we've got a t-shirt you can win. From the world champions Manchester City. All you have to do is go to our logo quiz, like and subscribe to the channel, go to the logo quiz, sports logos, and type in the word City in the comments, and that puts you in the draw for Friday.
Yeah, be a lovely shirt to win that.
Absolutely, yeah. Look good in that. Just towards the end of the summer now.
Yep.
Wherever you're, unless you're in the southern hemisphere, then it's coming up to the summer. So look good wherever you are anyway. So get in the draw to win it. He triggered the entire NBA with one sentence. I've actually seen a little bit of this.
I've not seen this video or anything, but I know.
I've not seen the video, no. This is Jimmy High Roll.
No, yeah,
great,
I know what.
Great
like,
channel.
I've seen what's like.
What he said.
I've only seen what he said. Noah Lyles?
Yeah. He's a sprinter, isn't he?
Yeah. Very good, very fast.
But, yeah, he is indeed. But he triggered the entire NBA with one sentence, Jimmy High Roller. Let's get on it.
In the NBA, I don't think there's a single topic where everyone is in agreement. In all my days, all the debates, takes, forums, media, I have never seen everyone come together and agree on anything. Until a few days ago. All thanks to this man. In a collective act unlike anything we have ever seen, NBA players have joined forces all to tell this guy he's wrong. The worst part, he might be right.
I have to watch the NBA Finals, and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what?
That's the bit I seen. World champion of what?
Not very often do the worlds of track and field and basketball converge. I would know. They're my two favorite sports, and they virtually exist in two different planes of reality. But a few days ago, the two sports collided, all thanks to one little interview that got blown completely out of proportion. So what better opportunity for me to blow it even more out of proportion? You see this guy right here? This is Noah Lyles. He's the fastest man in the world. And this past week, he pulled off the coveted triple gold at the 2023 World Championships, winning the 100, the 200, and the 4x100 relay, a feat that hasn't been pulled off on the world stage since 2016 by an athlete y'all may or may not be familiar with, named Usain Bolt. Yeah,
Never heard of him.
Noah Lyles is really good. And after his historic week on the track, Lyles had some strong words about the idea of being a world champion and how some leagues use the title when they probably shouldn't.
That hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals, and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times, but that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
Now, this sentiment of a domestic league claiming a world championship despite never facing other countries to win the title has been echoed for years, and it makes sense. In order to be a world champion, you need to beat the rest of the world. In 2010, Greg Popovich, who has been the head coach of the U.S. men's national team since 2019, said it doesn't make sense for an NBA team to call themselves the world champions. I don't remember anybody playing anybody outside of our borders to get that tag. Popovich, along with countless others, agree with Lyles. There's not really much to debate here. Until NBA players saw the interview.
But like, what do you mean? Like, what does Bam Adebayo mean? Like, lol, is someone going to tell him? Tell him what? He's probably right.
I get what he's saying. I see both sides of the story here. In the way the fact that if you put the NBA league up, I guess no. Do you know what? It's probably a pointless argument. What I'm going to say, because if you put the NBA league up against the Euro leagues, the NBA will probably win the title.
Yeah.
If you put the LA Lakers up against, or up against some team from Serbia, the Lakers are probably going to win.
Yeah.
If you put the Charlotte Hornets up against some team from Serbia, the team from Serbia will win. School team.
No, but like if City win the league in England, well, we wouldn't call us, because it's the best league in the world.
We just call us champions of England.
Champions of even when
we're not even champions of Britain. We're champions of England.
Yeah, champions of England.
Yeah.
And when we win the Champions League, which is only consists of European teams, which is the most decorated football tournament in the world.
We're champions of Europe.
You're champions of Europe.
Yeah.
Because you didn't play anyone outside of Europe.
But we play the World Club Championship in a couple of weeks, which then if we win that, we become the champions of the world.
Champions of the world, yeah.
Yeah, because we play the world, all the teams from around the world.
Yeah.
So we'll
teams
play against
the teams who are the best in their own continent.
In their own continent, yeah. So we'll play a team from North America, team from South America, team from Asia. You know, you get it. Team from Africa, sort of thing, and so on and so forth. So I'm not sure what they mean. That I get. This is a guy who's at the top of his game in his sport, right? And I guess he wants to be a little bit controversial, but he is up against people who are representing the world on a world scene, so that he's representing the USA.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
if with the FIBA, is it FIBA? I don't know if you pronounce it FIBA or
I don't know.
With the Basketball Association, that's like the World Cup of basketball.
Yeah, you can call yourselves world champions if you win that.
Yeah, correct.
Germany won that.
So they the world champions?
Yeah.
Let's see.
In the most unanimous voice of opinion I've ever seen in my 7 years covering the NBA, players across the league chimed in on the discussion. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Damian Lillard, Draymond Green, Aaron Gordon. The whole damn NBA pulled up to drop off their 2 cents about Noah Lyles' comments. Have you ever seen anything like this? This man had the whole league descending on him over a few words. Every single one of them in universal agreement that the team that wins the NBA Finals are, in fact...
Just a comment on that. All these comments that are coming in saying somebody help this brother, whatever, I'm smoking buddy in the 200, you know, and all that. All these people who are commenting there, Gordon, I don't know who some of them are.
Easy money snipers, Kevin Durant saying somebody help this brother.
Are they all American?
Yeah.
Is my question.
Yeah.
Are any of these Canadians or is Doncic or anyone coming out going, no, this is the world champion?
Yeah.
Who plays
That's
here?
very true. They're all
or are they
American.
all just American basketball players?
They're all American, yeah.
Okay.
The world champions. And you know what? They're right. The team that wins the NBA Finals in any given season are the world champions. And here's why. See, I love track and field. I ran it in college. It was my best sport. One of my closest friends, CJ Allen, represented the US and ran at the World Championship meet this past week. And so I feel I have a solid perspective on this debate. I understand where Noah is coming from. He didn't just earn the title of world champion by simply being the best in the world. He earned the title by beating the best in the world. The title of world champion doesn't inherently come from being the best in the world. It comes from winning a competition that includes the entire world. Or does it? See, in most other sports, like the vast majority of sports, in order to be crowned a world champion, you must win some form of competition or tournament on a world scale. Whether it's the World Championships, the Olympics, the FIFA World Cup, even the Little League World Series. A lot of sports fans believe the route to win a world title...
Skateboarding? Not having that. It's not sport.
Means beating the rest of the world, and rightfully so. But when it comes to basketball, specifically the NBA, I would disagree. The NBA, despite the word national literally being in the name, is a league comprised of the best basketball players in the world. It isn't some second-rate league. It isn't a sport that's only played here in the States. It is by far the best basketball league on the planet. In fact, out of 537 active NBA players, 128 of them are international players. That's 24% of the league. The OKC Thunder have 9 international players from 5 different countries on their roster alone. Unlike a sport like American football, which is almost exclusively played in the US, basketball is a worldwide sport with leagues around the globe. The best players from every country all ending up in the NBA. Now sure, the NBA Finals isn't technically the World Championship by definition, but an NBA championship team is naturally the world champions since the league is home to the best talent in the world. Would it be anything more than a formality to send, let's say, the Denver Nuggets to Spain to play the Real Madrid basketball club, parade around the world to prove they are definitively the world champs? No. And yet, that is exactly what some NBA teams do. Since 1984, and held nearly every year since, a handful of NBA teams play exhibition games against international teams. And since 1984, there have been 178 of these NBA team versus international team games. Of those 178 games, NBA teams have won 161 of them, giving NBA teams a win percentage against international teams over the last 4 decades of 90%. In fact, the NBA's record against international teams over the last 42 games is 41-1. Look at this. The Blazers were one of the worst teams in the league last season, won only 33 games. I would know, unfortunately, they're my team. Last October, they faced this team, a team out of the Israeli National Basketball League with a name I won't even try to pronounce. And the Blazers blew them out by 53 points. Here's another game from last season, where a ragtag OKC Thunder lineup played a game against a team from the Australian National Basketball League and beat them by 33 points. Half of these Thunder players don't even see the court in the NBA, and they still blew this team out. In 2019, the Cavaliers, who were the worst team in the entire league, faced off against one of the better teams in South America and smoked them by 31. This Cavs team was the worst team in the entire NBA, and they still ran a premier international team out of the building. Just look at these results from past games. They're almost all like this. NBA teams don't face international teams for world basketball supremacy because they don't need to. The best teams in the world, without exception, are all here in the NBA. If there was a world tournament for every pro basketball team to have a shot at winning a world championship, the last team standing would just be NBA teams, and then we just added a whole bunch of steps to what we already know as the NBA playoffs. But you don't even have to look into...
How do you know? You don't know that, though. Like, obviously, the favourites are to win it, but you would probably say the same about the World Cup. You'd probably say that USA are favourites to win the World Cup, but USA will just win the World Cup, but they didn't.
That's right.
They finished 4th.
That's right. I know what you're saying about that, and I kind of agree both. That's what I was saying before. I can see both sides of the story. I can see what Jimmy's saying there.
Yeah.
But what I've got with the team on that, for example, did he say the Denver Nuggets have like so many foreign players? Was it the Denver Nuggets? He said.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember which team he referred to. Having all that. It was OKC Thunder. It was someone who had the list of foreign players. Are they playing them games overseas with their foreign players? Because if you look at sports leagues from around the world, you can say by far the best football players or soccer players in the world go to the Premier League.
Yeah.
We host probably the top 500 best players in the world. Most of the top 500 players, I would say, the majority around the world. And if you'll probably see that the Manchester City will win the World Championship Club Cup. I don't know who won it last year.
Probably Real Madrid.
Yeah, Real Madrid that maybe won it. So it's you see things like that where it's them European teams that come through, but it's because it's more dominant in Europe than it is in South America. Yeah, and top South Americans come and play in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. The best.
It's like they do in the NBA. A lot of the best
football competition in the world is the Champions League, and if you win it, you're the European champs.
Yeah.
But everyone knows that the City and the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona and Bayern Munich would still beat everyone in South America. Probably, it'd be a closer game. Probably,
it'd be a closer game. It's a more wide played game, isn't it? It's but what you've got there.
But you still probably expect everyone from Europe to beat from anywhere else.
But the idea, what I'm saying there is, if you want to be world champions and playing like a World Cup, where then foreign players are representing their individual teams, you might only get someone like if you put a team together like, let's say, Giannis Antetokounmpo plays for Greece, he might be the only Greek player that can play at a high level. So it's a one-man team. Yeah. And they'll probably get run over, by a team of superstars from the USA or from Canada or from wherever. Serbia, I don't know how many players they've got that are on a high level. Yeah. Or whether it's just the Joker. I don't know. But you see teams like I don't know. It's always been a question outside of the USA. And when I'm in the USA, I always think, when I look in, I think, well, let them call them whatever they want because no one's going to beat them If you can bring a team of basketball players into the USA, or a team baseball's probably different because you got the Japanese players that sort of like in the Latino Americans, they're coming in and they're sort of like dominating baseball at the moment. So you're looking at it, but again, would a team of superstars from America be able to beat a team of superstars from Japan or from Dominican Republic or wherever?
You're talking baseball,
Talking baseball to be World Series champions or world champions. I think they call themselves World Series champions. But again, when you talk about world champions in the NBA, no team's going to come and beat them. That's what you're saying. I kind of agree with that. But I also agree with the runner saying you're not competing with the world. You're competing just with you. Yeah. There's no money in the other group. If you put money, if all of a sudden...
You just have to take his
Saudi Arabia tomorrow...
Remember, Saudi Arabia beat Argentina in the World Cup, and you know what I mean? It's one of them, like...
But Saudi Arabia could...
sports.
Saudi Arabia could come in tomorrow and say, we've got billions and billions of pounds to throw into an NBA type sport, basketball tournament in Saudi Arabia. We're going to make 15 teams and we want the best players from around the world, and they give them crazy money like they're doing at the moment with soccer players, paying them millions and millions and millions more than what they're getting. Right? Sometimes, look at Ronaldo, I think he's on something like 100 million a week or whatever stupid numbers they're throwing out there.
I don't think it's that much.
No, it's not that much, but you get the gist. But it's they're throwing daft money out there, and if they do that with the NBA and start dragging out all the top NBA players and weakening the NBA, is it still a world championship when you've got teams in Saudi Arabia that would be able to go to the USA and beat them? Although many of them would be American.
Yeah,
that's the debate you have, and it could happen with Saudi Arabia.
The main thing that he said for me is it's literally called the National Basketball Association. It's not called the World Basketball Association.
Yeah. Interesting debate.
The international competition to see how the NBA is a worldwide league. Last season, 6 of the top 8 NBA MVP candidates were international players. The player who won the award, an international player, as was the MVP in 2022, and 2021, and 2020, and 2019. And in terms of odds, the player who is favored to win the MVP this upcoming season is an international player. So is the player in 2nd, and 3rd, and 4th. The first overall pick in this year's NBA draft is from France. And this is really nothing new. 10 years ago, the San Antonio Spurs roster consisted of 10 international players, which was more than the number of US-born players on their roster. Now, we do not have a world championship tournament or competition for individual teams, and I don't think we will anytime soon. But we do have the next best thing, the Olympics and the FIBA Basketball World Cup. And you don't need to be a fan of basketball to know how these games play out. In 1992, the USA men's national team began filling their roster with professional players from the NBA as opposed to amateur players like they did in past years. This is what led to the inception of the Dream Team. And since 1992, the US men's basketball team has played in 15 world basketball tournaments. That's both the Olympics and the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Out of those 15 world tournaments, the US won 10 of them and medaled in 13. Their total win-loss record throughout that 32-year span, 111 and 12. 12 losses in 32 years. The average margin of victory for the US men's basketball team in international competition, plus 26 points per game. For perspective, the largest margin of victory throughout the 2023 NBA season was plus 6.5 by the Boston Celtics. The worst team in the NBA last season had a margin of victory of -10. When the US sends out a basketball team for international competition, the gap between them and the rest of the world is larger than the gap between the best NBA team and the worst NBA team. So, does winning the NBA Finals truly make a team the world champions? Well, technically, no. They don't face any international teams, they don't win a world competition, so by definition, they are not world champions. But I mean, come on. This argument is sheer technicalities and semantics. You point me to the team outside of the US that can beat the Denver Nuggets or the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics, or the LA Lakers, and I'll point you to a world champion. Being the best in the world doesn't simply make you the world champion, and beating the best in the world surely does. But what if the best in the world are all playing in the same league, and you and your team are the winners of that league? Well, in my opinion, for whatever it's worth, that makes you the world champions.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get it.
I understand why people would say world champions. Because you might as well.
Yeah,
that's pretty much
what it comes
but
down to.
But technically, it's not.
Did he actually say there as well? You pointed to a team that can beat these outside of the USA. Did
Yeah.
he say at the end? Because Canada have got quite a few decent teams with the Raptors, haven't they? And is it the Raptors that are Canadian?
Yeah, true. I think we know what you meant though. Outside the NBA.
Right, he didn't say outside the NBA. I'm pretty sure he said outside the USA, did he?
I thought he said outside. He might have said outside
maybe
the
I
NBA.
misunderstood what he said, but you know, it's. I love Jimmy Hyro. His videos are great, and I think the good thing about sport, it's a great debate. Sport is always a debate.
Yeah,
no matter where you go,
there's
what
always,
country you're in.
I think like you could make a topic about anything in sport, and you'll be able to find someone that disagrees.
Yeah, and that's the good thing. But I don't know if pubs were designed around that.
Yeah.
Because when I go in the pub and just start talking sport, you have an audience all of a sudden, yeah, and people have got their opinion, and people will always have an opinion, and I love that when someone else has got an opinion. Their opinion doesn't mean they're right. You know, it's their opinion. And if people want to push their opinion on and say that's what it is, then it's your opinion, mate. You might be wrong, but anyway, I'm going with City World Champions. Sounds right.
City World Champions.
Makes us the best.
Might as well.
Like I said, I started with best world champion.
World champion.
World best YouTube channel. There you have it. Anyway, let us know what you think. I kind of agree with what Jimmy's saying there. Pretty much. Yeah.
I'm sitting on the fence with that one. I'm not. It doesn't really like. It's one of them. Like you can say it, but it's technically not right.
I would.
But it's not like you're massively wrong in saying it, but it's technically not right.
But if someone said to me, if someone come up to me like and said, yeah, American world champions of basketball, I'd say, yeah, but Joel Embiid's the MVP. He's from Cameroon or wherever he's from.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.